Have you ever felt like a number was following you? Not just once, but again and again, on clocks, receipts, dreams. And not just any number, but 33. You dismiss it, at first. But then it shows up again. You start to wonder, is this a coincidence, or a sign? What if this number, quiet, subtle, insistent, is trying to tell you something? Some believe 33 is a doorway. A symbol of transformation. A sacred number whispered through history by mystics, mathematicians, and secret societies. But what does it really mean? Is it just numerology? Is there something hidden behind the rituals of Freemasonry? Or is it all just another layer of illusion we've chosen to believe? In this video, we're not here to repeat myths. We're here to uncover what's true, what's symbolic, and what might shift the way you see the world. You'll learn the real story of the 33rd degree in Freemasonry, a path more grounded than the conspiracy theories suggest. You'll discover how the number 33 has echoed through cultures, philosophies, and spiritual traditions, not as magic, but as metaphor. And you'll understand why some see it not as a code to decipher, but as a mirror to something within. By the end, this won't be just about a number. It will be about perception, meaning, and the hidden architecture of your own consciousness. So stay with me, and let's begin. To understand the mystery around the number 33, we first need to separate symbol from structure, and go back to the roots of one of the most misunderstood institutions in history, Freemasonry. Freemasonry is not a religion. It's not a cult. It's a philosophical system, built on allegory, ritual, and symbolism, designed to provoke reflection on ethics, personal growth, and the architecture of the self. Among its many branches, one stands out for its complexity and depth, the ancient and accepted Scottish Rite. This rite comprises a series of degrees, or symbolic lessons, that explore themes of justice, morality, and the human journey toward wisdom. It begins with the 4th degree and ascends, all the way to the 33rd. But here's what most people don't realize. The 33rd degree is not a mystical gateway to hidden cosmic knowledge. It's not an initiation into a global conspiracy. It's an honorary degree, established in the early 19th century, awarded by the Supreme Council to Freemasons who have demonstrated exceptional dedication, insight, and service to the craft. You don't apply for it. You're chosen, quietly, deliberately, for your contribution to the moral and philosophical mission of the order. Historical figures like Prince Edward, Duke of Kent, and other notable leaders have received it. But not because of wealth or power, rather, because of influence guided by principle. The number 33, in this context, is not about magic. It's about merit. About a life lived in pursuit of ethical clarity and self-mastery. And yet, the choice of that number, 33, wasn't accidental. It carries symbolic weight, both inside and far beyond Freemasonry. So the question remains: why 33? What deeper resonance does it hold, beyond organizational hierarchy? To answer that, we have to step out of the lodge and into the timeless realm of symbols, where numbers become metaphors, and mathematics meets myth. Long before Freemasonry adopted the number 33 as its highest honorary degree, this number was already echoing through the halls of human history, not as a fact, but as a symbol. In Pythagorean numerology, 33 is what's called a master number. Unlike ordinary numbers, master numbers are thought to carry intensified energy, and 33, in particular, is linked to altruism, compassion, and the ability to elevate others through service. It's often called the master teacher, the one who leads not through authority, but through example. In Christian tradition, there is a striking resonance. Jesus of Nazareth is said to have died at the age of 33. That number, then, becomes a symbol of sacrifice, spiritual fulfillment, and the transition from earthly life to something transcendent. But this pattern isn't exclusive to the West. In the Kabbalistic tree of life, 33 paths connect the 10 Sephirot, symbolic stages in the soul's evolution. In Rosicrucian philosophy and other esoteric systems, 33 appears again as an archetype of transformation and hidden knowledge. Even in the geometry of sacred architecture, we find patterns built on multiples of 3, the triangle, the trinity, the spiral. 3 is the minimum number to create a plane. 33? A heightening of that balance. So what's really going on here? Is the number itself powerful? Or are we the ones assigning it meaning, again and again, because it speaks to something deep, something archetypal, within the human psyche? Perhaps 33 isn't magic. It's a mirror. A symbol of a path. A phase in a journey. A signal that growth, true growth, comes not just from knowing, but from becoming. And when a symbol survives across cultures and centuries, the question is no longer if it matters, but why it keeps returning. If the number 33 is a symbol of awakening, then what exactly are we awakening to? For many, the answer lies deep within the human brain, in a small, mysterious organ known as the pineal gland. French philosopher René Descartes once called it the seat of the soul. To him, it was the meeting point between body and spirit, a place where consciousness itself could dwell. Centuries later, the pineal gland would become a focal point of both scientific inquiry and spiritual speculation. Biologically, we know its function. It produces melatonin, a hormone that regulates your sleep-wake cycles, also known as the circadian rhythm. It reacts to light. It helps your body align with the rhythms of the earth. But in the realms of metaphysics, it's been called the third eye, a gateway to higher perception, inner vision, and expanded states of awareness. This idea isn't entirely modern. In Eastern traditions, from Hinduism to Taoism, the concept of a third eye has long symbolized intuition, clarity, and a deeper understanding of the self beyond the senses. Then, in the early 2000s, research by Dr. Rick Strassman brought new attention to the pineal gland. He explored its possible role in producing DMT, a powerful psychedelic compound that some have called the spirit molecule. His findings were controversial, inconclusive, but they sparked a wave of fascination. Suddenly, the pineal gland became more than a scientific curiosity. It became a portal, or at least a metaphor, for awakening consciousness. New Age movements began speaking of activating the pineal gland through diets, frequencies, and meditation techniques. But this is where discernment becomes essential. Because while metaphor can inspire, misinformation can mislead. The pineal gland is not a magic button. You don't open it like a door. Its awakening, if anything, is symbolic, a reflection of inner transformation, not a literal event. And that distinction matters. Because real awakening isn't about escaping the physical. It's about integrating the physical, mental, and spiritual, seeing clearly, both outside and within. So when you hear of the pineal gland as a key to enlightenment, ask yourself, is it biology you're looking for? Or a symbol of the clarity you're ready to embrace? When most people hear the word Freemasonry, a shadow falls across their thoughts, secret meetings, hidden agendas, coded rituals. But the truth is both simpler and far more profound. Freemasonry is not a religion. It does not demand belief in a particular dogma or deity. It is, at its core, a philosophical system, built on symbols, ethics, and allegory. Its rituals are not spells. They are reflections. Each gesture, each object, is designed to mirror something within you. The all-seeing eye does not watch you from above. It represents the part of you that sees beyond illusion, the inner eye of awareness. The two pillars, often misunderstood as gateways to hidden realms, symbolize duality, strength and wisdom, severity and mercy, matter and spirit. The compass and square. They remind you to measure your actions, to live in balance, and to build your life with integrity. Freemasonry's true quest is not for supernatural power, but for illumination, moral, intellectual, and spiritual. Not the light of mysticism, but the light of reason, conscience, and responsibility. And yet, as time passed, many of its symbols were adopted, or co-opted, by movements that leaned toward mysticism, occultism, or New Age thought. The meanings blurred. The myths grew louder than the message. But if you look past the noise, you'll find that the heart of Freemasonry isn't hidden. It's open, for those willing to reflect. Because the deepest secrets are never encrypted in ritual. They live in your willingness to question, to seek, and to grow. And in that sense, every symbol becomes sacred. Not because it holds power, but because you do. So far, we've explored the historical, symbolic, and philosophical meanings of the number 33. But what if this number could also serve as a tool? Not for unlocking external secrets, but for aligning yourself with an internal state of clarity, purpose, and intention? Enter the law of attraction. Often oversimplified as thoughts become things, the law of attraction is not about wishful thinking. It's about resonance, the idea that your mental and emotional state shapes the quality of your attention, your actions, and ultimately, your life. And this is where the number 33 takes on a new kind of power, not mystical, but symbolic. In the language of symbolism, 33 represents spiritual maturity. It is the fusion of mind, body, and spirit, the full alignment of intention and action. So how can you use it? Not as a superstition. Not as magic. But as a reminder, an anchor for higher awareness. When you see the number 33, pause. Ask yourself, am I living in alignment with what truly matters to me? You can even turn it into a personal practice, a simple yet powerful symbolic ritual. Each morning, repeat the mantra 33, an affirmation charged not with blind hope, but with conscious direction. I am guided by wisdom. I act from compassion. I am aligned with a higher purpose. Say it 3 times. Do it for 11 days. Not because the number holds power, but because you do, when you commit to showing up with intention. The number becomes a pattern interrupter, pulling you back into awareness. It's not about controlling the universe. It's about calibrating your inner world. Because the law of attraction isn't activated by belief alone. It responds to clarity, coherence, and consistency. And in that sense, the number 33 is like a tuning fork, gently reminding you to elevate your frequency, to focus on what matters, to realign when you drift. There's no guarantee of miracles. But there is power in repetition, in presence, and in purpose. So if the number 33 keeps appearing, maybe it's not a message from the outside. Maybe it's a reflection of what's awakening within. When a symbol becomes powerful, it also becomes vulnerable. Vulnerable to distortion. To projection. To being used as a shortcut for certainty in a world that rarely offers any. The number 33. The pineal gland. Freemasonry. The law of attraction. Each of these holds layers of meaning. But meaning is not the same as truth. In today's digital world, ideas spread fast, faster than discernment. A clip, a quote, a mystical phrase taken out of context can create the illusion of knowledge. Suddenly, speculation becomes belief. And belief, if held blindly, can become a new kind of prison. Because when you accept everything as sacred, without question, you stop seeking. You stop thinking. You stop growing. Real wisdom isn't about collecting secrets. It's about learning how to ask better questions. How to see beyond surface interpretations. How to walk the line between wonder and reason. Symbols are invitations, not instructions. They are tools, not truths in themselves. And the highest degree you can reach isn't conferred by a title. It's earned through clarity, curiosity, and the courage to revise what you think you know. So if you're drawn to mystery, good. Stay open. Stay receptive. But never stop filtering. Because knowledge without discernment is not enlightenment. It's just another illusion. So, what does the number 33 mean? The truth is, it means what you allow it to mean. It can be a mathematical curiosity, a historical marker, a spiritual symbol, or simply a pattern your mind has learned to notice. But that's the beauty, and the burden, of symbols. They are not fixed. They are alive, shaped by the consciousness that encounters them. Freemasonry, science, numerology, spirituality, each offers its own lens. None of them own the truth. They offer fragments, frameworks, stories, not certainties. The number 33 has echoed through time not because it hides some forbidden secret, but because it resonates with something deep within the human soul. The longing to grow, to transcend, to find meaning in the invisible threads that weave our experience. But remember, meaning is not waiting for you in a temple, or a hidden code, or a cosmic alignment. It's already here, in how you choose to live. In the questions you dare to ask. In the responsibility you take for your thoughts, your actions, your becoming. You don't need to activate a gland. You don't need to join a secret order. You don't need to chase signs across the sky. What you need, is already inside. So the next time you see the number 33, don't ask what it means out there. Ask what it's reflecting in you. Because awakening doesn't come from decoding symbols. It comes from becoming someone who no longer needs to look inward. Stay awake. And walk your path, with clarity, with courage, and with intention.